Obviously, we did not hold that 82,000. That was the mark that I really wanted to see Bitcoin hold, right? And we held it very, very well last week. Despite massive sell-offs on Thursday and Friday, we had $4 trillion lost from the US markets on Thursday and Friday alone. $2 trillion lost with the Mag 7. Bitcoin held strong. It did what it can. Okay. But now, obviously, with so much global panic, there's just too many people selling. That's why we have come back down, right? It's obvious. However, not all is lost. There are still many that believe that Bitcoin can find a footing, find that line and hold it, and continue back up. I think most of us know that will happen. The question is, when will it happen, right? Even Standard Chartered, one of the biggest banks out of Europe, thinks that eventually Bitcoin will be seen as a hedge, not against even inflation, but against the tariffs and US isolationism, right? It's just right now, there's just too much panic selling. You got too many people that are too freaked out. Even though they may believe this, it does not matter. They are selling because they're just so freaked out about everything else, right? But of course, we know there are people that are not freaked out. There are long-term holders that continue to hold, like you and I. And there are many that are still accumulating. If there weren't, then Bitcoin would be at zero already. So obviously, there are many that are holding and many that are still buying. But right now, there's just too much fear going around. And that's why we're at where we are, right? And plus, we still have a lot of liquidations, a lot of manipulation. Yesterday, I saw on X, Cointelegraph pointed out that one person, one trader, lost $100 million on an ETH position. $106 million on a ETH long position from one person. And in the last 24 hours, if it's not too cut off, you could see here, 1.43 billion liquidated. And again, we established this before. This number is actually lower than real time. Bybit CEO Ben Zhao has come out and said that CoinGlass does not get all the data. They only get partial data. So whatever this actually says is actually a lot less than what's actually out there, right? You could say it's 5 times or 10 times less than what's actually out there. So liquidations also have driven things downwards quite a lot. A lot of people still had longs open or placed some longs at 82,000 and thought we were coming back up, and they got liquidated once again, and that definitely didn't help things and brought things down. But again, all that is right now, is during this scary time. And it's not like this is just for Bitcoin or crypto, right? Obviously, if you're looking at stocks, this is why I'm covering it so much. Everything is being sold off. You look at Tesla, it's down. You look at MicroStrategy, it's down. You look at, I don't know, anything else, Coinbase, Robinhood, Nvidia, Apple, anything out there is down. Any company that has anything produced overseas is down, which is almost every company. Actually, Microsoft is doing well because they don't produce any products. It's all software, relatively speaking. But everything is down, right? There's just so much panic against everything. But Bitcoin, remember, has no tariff. There's no tariff against Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin is pure. Bitcoin is digital. There's no goods. It's not produced anywhere. There's no tariffs on Bitcoin and crypto. And Bitcoin continues, if you're looking at the fundamentals, continues to shine and rise. Hash rate reaches 1 zettahash milestone, an achievement it has never seen before, which means the network is only getting stronger and more secure. And that shows you the miners are not giving up. They may need, some of the smaller miners may need to sell off Bitcoin to pay for their operations. But in cumulative, there are more miners now than there has ever been. And they continue to add more and more miners because they know this is the best thing to mine. And because of it, it's the most secure and most decentralized network on the planet. And it may never be replicated again. And that in itself is priceless. And like I said, there are still many that are accumulating. Obviously, I cover stories about the usual guys like Michael Saylor, and Metaplanet, and some of the countries like El Salvador that continues to accumulate and so forth, right? But behind the scenes, we have a lot of whales that are still accumulating. Number of entities with over 1,000 Bitcoin, you can see that's huge spike from April on, just within the last 1 week. Look at that huge spike. So there's definitely large players coming in, taking advantage of the dip. And, that's going to continue happening. That's going to continue happening because they know this is the best asset to hold. And that hasn't changed. And when we get through all this, maybe with the very, the first cut that's coming in May, when we get through it and when we climb back up again, Bitcoin will shine. It will shine once again. We just had to get through this rough period, right? And we have seen many rough periods before for Bitcoin and crypto. Many rough periods before. Okay. Right now, relatively speaking, Bitcoin is holding way better than a lot of the alts. So that's for sure. So this shows you the importance of Bitcoin. I've been talking about Bitcoin for forever. I've been stressing the importance of having a good amount of Bitcoin in your portfolio, at least 50%, for that stability and strength. And right now, it's showing why. Because when we do have volatility, everything else crashes except Bitcoin. But that doesn't mean that the alts won't come back. It just means that it's going to take a lot longer too, right? Some more time. But Bitcoin is definitely going to stay, and it's going to come back stronger, in my opinion. It's not going to go away. It's not going anywhere.